I have been bullied before. Back in high school, when we were doing group projects or anything like that in class, nobody ever wanted to team up with me or be my partner or anything. I would ask them, and they'd always be like, "Oh, well, I'm working with somebody else." So it kind of always seemed like everybody was always avoiding me in high school.
Hi, I'm Whitney Reynolds, and you're watching The Whitney Reynolds Show. We're a topic-based talk show that will hopefully impact the way you think and make you want to go out there and make a difference. Today, we are talking about a serious topic, bullying, that we're seeing rise up in headlines and across the nation. Coming up in today's show, we're going to sit down with a mother and son that have had their world rocked for the last 3 years because of bullying. We're also going to have surprise celebrities that are going to weigh in about this issue. We also have an author that is talking about the difference between teasing and when it turns into bullying. And last but not least, we wanted to hear from you, the viewers, weighing in on social media about the topic. But first off, we have 12-year-old Nick and his mom, Melanie Mendoza. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, because this is a tough topic. I know, especially for mom over here, because I could only imagine having a 12-year-old son that at 9 started getting picked on by bullies. How was that for you?
Awful. It's hurt. It's been awful.
At 9 years old, Nick, what was it that they decided to pick on you about?
Well, obviously I'm white and I'm half Mexican, so I act like I'm Mexican, and they go after me on that. And they call me like a range from bad Mexican names to bad white names, and that's what they've been calling me for like 3 years.
Wow. Okay, so I want to break that down. So really, you're just living out who you are.
Yes.
How does that make you feel, Mom, as you know, you're watching your son embrace his culture and who he is? I know when I was 9 years old, my mom told me I could be whoever I wanted to be. It didn't matter.
Right.
So how does that make you feel?
It's a horrible, because he can't be who he wants to be, and he's a very caring person, and he's gone from being lovable to not who he wants to be, because he's afraid.
Yeah,
It's awful.
And I have to say, this is such a bold stand that you're taking today to come on a talk show and open up about your story. So first of all, thank you for coming on. But let's go back to, you were 9 years old. They started picking on you for what kind of person you were developing into. How did you handle that?
I just turned my rap music. Like, all I did was just like turn to it, and I would make songs out of it and just like rap about the truth. And I also did a lot for the foundation. I created Foster Friends Foundation, and that helped me a lot.
Wow. So you've decided to take out this energy and turn it into positive energy in a way of rapping. And then you also have been giving back to a foundation, which is great as well. So Melanie, I'm going to toss this question to you. Do you ever fear your son's life?
Every day when he gets on the bus, especially like last year, it's like I would put him on the bus, and I never knew if he was going to come home in one piece, because you hear about so much violence in school, people shooting people. And in the 3rd grade, they brought loaded guns to school, and he had a knife pulled on him.
Oh,
so
my
it's
goodness.
like I mean, at the end of the year, it was like I needed medication.
Right, I could only imagine.
Yeah, it was just to get through, to make sure that he was okay.
Did you have the same kind of fear?
Like, when you're that young, you don't think about that kind of stuff. Then you realize, well, it's going on around you. You need to worry about that stuff. And they're going to school. And it's just ridiculous,
How did you decide to open up? How did it take you a long time to let your mom know what was going on?
No, I told her on day 1 just by saying what's going on at school. And ever since then, I've been telling her what's going on. And she's been listening to it. And she's helped me a lot with it,
Is it hard for you to go to the school day after day? I mean, are they stepping in? Like, what's going on?
I've gone to the superintendent. I've gone to bus drivers. I've gone to principals, and they don't do anything.
Yeah,
you wait for them to call you back, or...
Do you worry it's going to make the bullying worse by stepping in?
Yeah, it is. But like currently, they stick the bully the kids in the basement of the school.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And the way they wanted to deal with me is put me on medication when I was going to school so that I would feel drowsy. People would say my eyes are always glazed over. They was hard for me to process stuff, and I would just sit in class like, what the heck's happening?
Is it only you, or is it a bunch of people that are getting bullied?
It's a nation thing. A bunch of kids are getting bullied, and it's not just me. And there's people that have it worse than me. And that's why it says, you know what, I got this off me to get past this, what I'm going through right now.
Yeah, I love that you're able to open it up because you're right. It is something that we're hearing more and more about. And it seems like it's getting more extreme.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, Nick, if you were to say anything to your bully, I want you to look in the camera and tell them exactly what you would say. Because I know that's hard to do face to face, but this is your opportunity.
Okay. I just want to say words can keep me down, but they can't words can bring me down, but they can't keep me down. And in a couple years, if I become a rapper, I'm going to expose you. And you can't hurt me no more. And that's all I want to say.
I think that's what it boils down to is the hurt. And I feel like sometimes as kids, we aren't able to express that it's really hurting us. And I feel like that is such an honest, open answer of it. It just hurts.
Yeah, it does. It's like, it makes you have low self-esteem with yourself. It makes you feel like, why is this happening to me when kids are always getting it?
Right.
Mm-hmm. It just hurts,
Absolutely.
Yeah, he has nightmares, and
people always killing me and stuff.
Yeah.
In your nightmares.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
It even goes back to strangers killing me for no reason. They just come up, kill my family, and then they go to me.
That's terrifying. That has to be shocking as a mom to hear.
It is, because you want them to be happy because this is the happiest time of their life, and you can't even going to school is so scary nowadays, and it's like something has got to be done about it, because putting kids on medication, and
right.
he's like a zombie. Is like after school is like he was so petrified to go to school in the morning. He was throwing up on the bus just to go to school.
This is a very, very serious issue, and I'm so glad you both came on. Despite what's going on, you've decided to shine and share your story and help others. And we actually had someone that has taken notice and wants to tell you how proud of you they are. Keenan Cahill. He has caught the attention not only for his remarkable and clever performances on YouTube, but also because of his unique appearance. At an age when many teens tend to feel self-conscious about their appearance, Keenan doesn't mind that his YouTube channel makes him an easy target for criticism. He has worked with some amazing artists and celebrities like 50 Cent, Katy Perry, and Jennifer Aniston. With over 500 million views, he's decided to turn his story into a journey that people can learn.
Hey Nick, it's Keenan Cahill. I've been hearing that you've been getting picked at school for quite some while. But I just want to tell you that no matter what you want to do, no matter what your dreams are, you will accomplish them if you work really hard and you believe in you will make it. Because in the future, the kids that are picking at you at school will apologize and actually kiss up to you. So I know from experience, but just to tell you that keep on working hard, keep on praying to God that it will happen one day, and unexpectedly your dreams will come true and you'll be on top of the world. So can't wait to see you on top of the world. So good luck, and keep working hard and brush off the haters.
Well, just as Keenan has found success on YouTube and social media, it's also another vehicle for bullying. Let's take a look at this week's Social Sizzle. It is your Social Sizzle time. I'm joined by Ed Swiderski. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Whit.
Well, I would like to consider you a reality star, one of my favorites. Best known for The Bachelorette winning season 5, and then also social media guru and author. Now, this is a question that we threw out to our Facebook and Twitter friends and fans. We asked if people have been bullied online. Now, this is a hot topic. You know firsthand about bullying. I would say you've been bullied not only online, but in magazines, on TV, and in person. Right?
Yeah, across the entire kind of social spectrum, I've been bullied.
The green shorts, for example. You wore those on air on The Bachelorette, and people gave you a really hard time about those. But now they're making money for charity.
Well, and that's right. I wore those green shorts because it was me, and I wasn't afraid to kind of show that in that light. And that was my way of showing my sense of humor. And I think that there was a kind of a love-hate relationship with the fans, but I was able to kind of use my experiences growing up, and I was bullied, and I had a weird, ugly stage for a while, and I think that made me more resilient to those kind of things that I'm experiencing in life today.
Well, and that brings us to our question that we threw out on Facebook and Twitter. Have you been bullied online? And 40% said on Facebook that they had some form of bullying.
That's right. Yeah, electronic media can be misinterpreted. We've all had those emails with all caps. I think that in-person communication will never be replaced by social media or any kind of electronic media.
Interesting, yeah. Our Twitter fans also weighed in with very specific examples. And to me, when I was reading through these, it almost seems like sarcasm gone bad.
It's easier to criticize someone else because that's their way of kind of jabbing at other people, when really it's themselves that they're more concerned about than anybody else. Just remember that a lot of social media is noise, and really just pay attention and focus on the things that are important to you, whether it's in person or social media. Remember that it's just a tool. It's not meant to replace actual human interaction.
Now that is a perfect example when teasing can go a little too far into bullying. And our next guest knows a lot about that, Judy Friedman. You are a bully prevention specialist, an educator, a blogger, and wrote the book Easing the Teasing. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Now, you have a lot of things behind your name, but with that, your book is kind of your baby when it comes to this, because you said, how many editions have been made of this?
It's in its 9th printing.
9th printing. Okay, but how long has it been?
It's 12 years old. It is like my 4th child.
Yeah.
And it's been translated in Chinese and Portuguese.
So this is a tool that parents can really use to kind of figure out when teasing goes too far.
Correct.
What motivated you to write this book?
When I was working in elementary school as a school social worker, I had the privilege and opportunity to go into classrooms and ask kids, what's on your mind, what's bothering you? And teasing was the #1 issue. And I'd say to kids, well, how many of you have ever been teased? And every hand would go up. And I'd say, how many of you have ever been bullied? And you wouldn't see that many hands. And not to minimize bullying, but kids see teasing and bullying as different, and I view them on as a continuum. And I learned that kids have trouble dealing with teasing. They need coping skills.
I love what you're honing in on here, because that is so true. I can think of 5 conversations I've had this week where they're like, oh, I'm just teasing. But you're really like, were you? When did it go too far into bullying? And I love that you said it just keeps on going.
Well, actually, one end of the continuum is fun and friendly teasing, because we tease all the time in a fun and friendly way. We laugh with somebody. We have fun with somebody. No one's feelings are hurt.
Does sarcasm fall into teasing too? Because I feel like as adults, that's what it ends up being.
Well, that's an interesting question, because sometimes a tease is meant to be fun and friendly, but it's taken as cruel and hurtful as we move along the continuum. So sarcasm can play into that.
Did you find out where the line is? Because I think it is a 2-person game here, in the fact of, if I'm teasing with you and it is fun and friendly and you take it the wrong way, then all of a sudden I become the bully in a sense. But sometimes teasing is taken too far. Well,
and then as we move along the continuum, we have more continued teasing, taunting. It becomes more abusive.
So over the same subject, or could it just keep going?
It keeps going. Bullying is repeated, ongoing behavior. It can be verbal, it can be physical. Most bullying is verbal.
I agree.
And generally there's a power imbalance.
Now, watching our first guest that was here, the 12-year-old that was talking about the bullying, did that strike a chord with you?
I felt so badly. I think the school is really letting him down. You know, it bothers me. It's distressing that he goes to school not feeling safe. Schools should really ensure the physical and emotional safety of their students. Bullying can be stopped only with adult intervention or peer intervention. We talk about the power of the bystanders can really overtake the power of the bullies. Neither is working in his case.
Let's talk about the power of the bystanders, because I think that's a really interesting, subject that you bring up, because a lot of us do see it. We could be at the line in a restaurant. We could be, waiting to wash our hands in the bathroom. But sometimes we see bullying going on, and none of us want to say anything, because it's like, A, we either they'll handle it, or B, for me, I'm sometimes just too busy, but I'm letting those people down.
Well, especially with children at school, many are afraid to step in because they don't want to be the next victim. Yeah. We really need to teach young children, we need to plant the seeds for them to stand up and speak out, either to give support to the child who's being teased or bullied, or to tell the bully to back off. And in their power in numbers. And if we can get the bystanders to speak up, it can make a big difference.
Well, and so much awareness, I feel like, has lately just been brought out on bullying. Going to adults in the workplace, would you say the same thing? Would you say speak up if you see something? Because bullying doesn't stop just with kids.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. In whatever setting, the bystanders can take over the power of the bully.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. You know, I'm sure some of us are thinking right now to our childhood, because that's exactly what I'm doing. Was I the bully? Or was I being bullied? So we wanted to hear what you guys had to say at home. So let's take a look. Were you the bully or were you being bullied?
I was probably more often the bully than being bullied myself. So I think I quickly realized as a kid that it wasn't who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do with myself. So I think I learned a lesson and then, stopped bullying people once I realized that it was, once I could see the other side of the story.
I was a bully. Kind of in good fun. However, when I got to high school, I got bullied, and I didn't like how it was. So that made me stop bullying. And I'll never forget when my friend stood up for me and stood up and confronted the bullies. I'll never forget that. She'll always be my friend.
I was the bully, and I didn't realize it at the time. I just like to have fun with friends, and we used to tell a lot of jokes, and we thought we were being really witty and creative, and that was something that we did for fun, and we didn't realize that we were hurting people in the meantime. And I really didn't realize it till years later when I got an email from somebody who I thought was a friend, and they told me, you really hurt my feelings back then. And it was really an eye-opening experience for me, and I think I've really changed how I treat others ever since I got that email. And I immediately contacted her back and apologized and let her know that I didn't realize that I was hurting her feelings like that.
I was bullied because I was always smarter than everybody else.
People mean sometimes?
Yes.
How does that... Tell me how that makes you feel when people are being mean.
Sad.
It makes you sad? Okay. And were you the bully or were you bullied?
I was bullied.
Why?
I think because I wore glasses when I was little and I was like one of the smarter ones.
Hands down, I was bullied. I was a different kid. I was called weird for liking REM when I was a kid. I liked REM, and the kids didn't like the way the lead singer kind of sounded. They're like, oh, that's weird. That's different. That's not okay. And I was like, what do you mean? It's what I like. There's no problem with liking something, is there? That it's a little different. And they were like, no, it's weird. You're weird. I don't want to talk to you.
I was definitely bullied as well. I wanted to make friends really badly. And so I'd kind of overcompensate and be too nice, I guess, if that's possible. And so people love to take advantage of people like that. So I was always going home crying like, someone said they wouldn't be my friend. I just wanted to love everyone, I guess.
Can y'all hug?
Yeah.
Well, as you can see from that video, bullying has no age limits, but it is important that we set very clear boundaries with how far we will let people go. You hear that? That's Peter Yarrow, one of my favorite singers from the iconic group Peter, Paul, and Mary. He's joining us via Skype. Today's topic is bullying, and you have a personal connection with it. Tell us a little bit about Operation Respect.
Operation Respect was formed 14 years ago when I first heard the song Don't Laugh at Me, and I realized that what I was listening to was the We Shall Overcome, or the blowing in the wind of a whole other movement that needed to take place in our country. It was prior to the killings at Columbine High School, but the disrespect and mean-spiritedness in schools was already evident. Performing this song with Paul and Mary at the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the NAESP, and they stood up and they said, we must have that song. They gave us a prolonged standing ovation. And I went to Educators for Social Responsibility, and I said, let's combine music with your curriculum for social emotional learning that turns a classroom and a school into a place where it's respectful, where kids care about each other. And out of that came a program that uses music and has the curriculum to make a peaceful environment in schools. You cannot address bullying by dealing with the bully and the victim alone. You have to deal with the environment that either allows it or does not sanction it. And that's what we do with Operation Respect in 22,000 schools across America.
Because of your platform, you reach a huge audience. But what is the main focus of your message?
Well, the message is actually what the program does. And we've been called upon by Israel. We're now in 50 schools this coming year. We're in Ukraine, translated into Arabic and Hebrew. We're in Hong Kong. We're in South Africa, Croatia. Everybody has this problem. We have 160,000 children a day who refuse to go to school because it's brutal for them. So what we say is, let us create an environment in the schools that is accepting, loving, and in which the entire culture is not conducive to bullies, to ridicule, to making fun of kids, because they find it extremely, extremely painful. And we have suicides now. We have massive depression among children. We have kids who are killing other children, and it happens every day. So the message is, let's do it, but let's not do it with hyper-disciplinary measures. Let us do it with understanding. The bully is frequently someone who's been bullied himself or herself. And so what we have to do is deal with them at that young age with compassion and make sure that everybody is embraced in such a way that we diffuse the ignition for bullying and ridicule. I'm a little boy with glasses, the one they call a geek. A little girl who never smiles, 'cause I got braces on my teeth. And I know how it feels to cry myself to sleep. Yes, I am the kid on every playground. I'm the one that's chosen last. I'm a single teenage mother trying to overcome my past. You don't have to be my friend, but is it too much to ask? Don't laugh at me. Don't call me names. Don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we are all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect wings.
Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us via Skype and helping spread awareness on this growing issue. Now, one thing that has resonated with me all day long is a little quote that my mom would say growing up to me, because nice matters. Bullying hurts, but it can be prevented. For more info on today's show, go to thewhitneyreynoldshow.com.
I'm a little boy with glasses, the one they call a geek. A little girl who never smiles, 'cause I got braces on my teeth. And I know how it feels to cry myself to sleep. I'm that kid on every playground who's always chosen last. A single teenage mother trying to overcome my past. You don't have to be my friend, but is it too much to ask? Don't laugh at me.